The Discord Cup 12 was another Advanced Wars tournament that I was looking forward to playing in. However, when I saw my round 1 opponent... yeah... let's see how it goes. How's it going, guys and gals? This is Advanced Warrior here, and welcome back to another Advanced Wars by Web replay commentary. So today we have a special one here. As you guys saw in the intro, I joined the Discord Cup 12 tournament, and it was high funds. Sadly, my worst game mode, and my round 1 game just so happened to be against the tournament organizer himself. Hello, JJEmpire.
Hello, Advanced Warrior.
How are you doing?
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. How about you?
Doing wonderful,
All right, that's good to hear. Yeah, so I faced you in the tournament that you organized.
Yeah, we play in round 1 of the Advanced War by Web Discord Cup 12. We played in round 1. And yeah, I don't know why I'm out of my butt here. Sorry about that.
Yeah, let's talk about the map, and then we'll talk about the COs, and then we can get started, okay?
Okay. Now, this first map here for the Discord Cup is a mid-based map here. Most first round cup in the Discord Cup and other tournaments are typically mid-based, just because it's often dynamic, it's exciting, it gives lower level players a chance to upset higher level players in the tournament. And here in High Fun, we have a mid-base here that have 4 labs spread out, and we have about 4 bases on either side, and 2 extra airports on top of that. Airports are, of course, very, very important in High Fun because they're pretty much as good at bases, if not maybe even more important. So you're often wanting to get on those as soon as possible, just like with bases and standards, and we'll be going after these pretty quick. So let's go ahead and start the first round here. Advanced Warrior, go ahead and start the next round here, see what we got.
Yeah, I was gonna say High Funds is not my strongest game mode, and I also suck a lot at mixed base maps.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 of the worst poison you could possibly have. Yeah, not a lot of high confidence going in. I can understand that. I have some map types that I'm terrible at too.
Yeah.
But on mid bases, I play pretty decent overall.
You can talk about Adder while I do this.
Open. Now, for the first round here, I chose Adder because he's typically been very good on mid bases to the point where he actually goes up a tier on some map and standard mid bases. And I would presume it's pretty much the same in High Fun. He probably doesn't go up a tier in mid bases on High Fun, but he's often very powerful in that regard, especially when you have this many bases and 2 airports on top of that. That's a very high number of air units going around and a high number of infantry units and smaller vehicles going around. It's often very dangerous to have all those units be boosted by Adder's VO power, whereas Jake only gets the boosted tank and ground vehicles and whatnot. So he often kind of fall back behind Adder in comparison to that. And Adder is often also better than some of the other CO we have in the bottom tier of High Fun, where he's probably better than Sonya from Aspect, maybe even better than Wrath from Aspect. You could even arguably say Kindle is not as good at Adder here, possibly, even though it's also mid-bases. But it really depends on the map, of course. But I just feel pretty comfortable picking movement boosters on a map like this, just because you can always train in multiple directions. On most maps, you can pretty much go in one or two directions, and you can reasonably predict where Adder wants to go. But on a mid-base map like this one, you could be anywhere. It's very flexible to have to plan against a movement boost from any particular direction, because you could be on one side of the map one turn, and be on the other side of the map the other. It's just very flexible to have to plan against. So I feel like Adder is particularly good on mid bases as a result, especially in hard fun. So I would pick, and that's why I settle on Adder here for the moment.
Yeah, Adder makes sense looking at it now because it's double airport, and there's also a lot of areas where air units are good, like a lot of sea tiles. Yeah, like copters will be safe from anti-air in a lot of spaces, and they could shift over to other fronts away from the anti-airs. So I'm probably going to have to invest in a lot, or maybe my own air units if I want to combat yours.
Yeah, Adder is especially good in the middle with the air unit. B-Copper in the middle over C-Tile are always good, because you can go in any direction you want. You can go north, you can go south, you can go west, you can go east. And in a map like this, where your opponent have anything, where your opponent is in every direction, like on this mid-base map, B-Copper for Adder in the middle is just very dangerous. If you play your card right, you can make your opponent build an AA on every single one of these bases, and just make them really spend too much money on things he probably doesn't need for the occasion. And if you time that right with your other attack in the meantime, you can really catch your opponent off guard.
Yep, I agree. Adder is very dangerous when he has safety for his copters. Alright, so for me, I decided to pick Jake. 10% attack power on planes. 3 stars. Power is beatdown. Increases the planes bonus to 20%. Also gives his indirects +1 range. And for the super, Block Rock, 6 stars. 40% bonus on planes. +1 indirect range, as well as +2 movement for all land vehicles. So as JJ said earlier, I'm not going to be getting my movement boost on my copters. They will still get a firepower boost on the planes, but I think movement is just better for air units, just to get that nice first strike that I won't be able to get.
Yeah, this map I would play is pretty good for Jake. There's probably one more airport and I would feel comfortable picking Jake with. But I still remember a frame where Jake wants to fight, and usually when you get a lot of vehicles together and Jake's super CL power come on, they're very brittle. That can actually stand in his way. Even Adder, after all I was talking about with him, can have a hard time with his super CL power kick in at that point. It's a matter of whether or not you can maneuver around that and just hang in there and follow up from there, mostly, for myself.
Yeah. I do have the better indirects though. Adder can outrange me with his air units and basically all his other units, but I should be able to outrange JJ with my indirects if I have my power ready in play.
That's what I was thinking as well. Jake had that first CL power that at least keeps you on it, at the very least, for myself.
Yeah. Alright, so are you ready to get started, JJ?
I am.
Alright.
Anything you want me to do about streamlining my initial answer regarding Adder?
Anything you want to do? What?
Do you want me to do you want me to give another try to answering why I picked Adder, or you think my initial answer was good enough?
Oh, your initial answer was good enough. I definitely, after our match, I definitely saw the power of Adder here. And for anyone who hasn't seen it, you'll definitely see soon. I will say, this is probably my most followed game ever on Advance Wars by Web. But I'm going to be honest, I think it was because I was playing against you.
Yeah, I was just thinking it was a very highly bubble match, probably not by the standard points of Aqua.
Yeah.
But how many followers was it again? Was it 23, 25?
It was like I was like in the 20s. I'm like, why are all these people following us? I even saw in the Discord chat, like some people were like, oh, JJ and Advanced Warrior is probably going to be interesting to watch.
It's the tournament organizer and it's popular YouTuber and the same map. We gotta see how this tournament go down. We got
Yeah, this one was a long time, so I've kept everyone waiting. I'm sorry. All right, so let's do this. All right, so you start off with 1 infantry, while I start off with 3, and first thing I noticed is you immediately went for the airport instead of this chain back here. You mentioned earlier about getting the airport as soon as you can is really strong.
That is correct, yep. We're talking about earlier how airports are much more important and high funds probably get that important spaces, it's not more so. So I decided to go for the airport right away, then get that online as soon as possible, and have the other infantry for next turn follow up on that city chain instead.
Yep.
What I was thinking.
Alright, makes sense. Contrary to me, I do go immediately for the chain, and I just try to get immediate properties. Maybe with this one? Okay, I do immediately go for the properties I could capture right away. As you guys could tell, I did not have a discussion with JJ about how powerful airports are, and I also mentioned that I'm fairly new to high funds, but I still tried my best to give it a shot.
For that first infantry unit down there in the corner, the one that capping stuff right now, that one is meant to go with the double ditty down there at some point. But for now, it's capping stuff trying to get things going. And now for the other one, let's see, yeah, I'm just jumping. Go ahead and keep going. Let's see, yeah, we go.
And I built an artillery. My idea for this artillery was to see. I noticed that this base is kind of like far away from your other bases, similar to this one here. Like this base over here has double airport support. This is a double base here, so I kind of thought about trying to do some kind of base lock where I keep pushing you back into your corner, and eventually with hopefully my 2 airports and my 2 bases will probably overrun your 1 base side. That was my idea going into this game.
That's why I was wondering that, well, personally, I was wondering about either going for your own server base on the other side, exactly mirrored from mine own. I was thinking about going for the same base as yours, either that one, or possibly going for the base in the bottom left corner with the airport. I was thinking about either one of those. I think either one might help win the game, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking about playing out the game mostly at this point, and moving the unit around and seeing which one might be more ideal to go for. Just trying to play defense on my own server base while trying to move towards either your own server base or your base covered by the airport, just to see what I can possibly get away with and go from there mostly.
Yeah. Because
you have to kind of move units in places and from there.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine every possible situation. So instead of an artillery, you build a tank down here. Not 2 tanks though. Just alright, so you have a tank by your airports, and you have a tank on your double base side.
That is correct. Yep. I wanted to have 1 tank down there to help get some thrusters going on the bottom, but also to get buttons going on top, because the top tank is actually meant to cover a B copper coming out next turn. I always kind of like timing my tank to come out at the same time at B copper, because usually when people build B copper, their opponent builds in AA and response, So I usually like to pair a B-Copper with the tank, so that way they don't go it alone and the AA will keep it distant. Because if you attack my B-Copper with your AA, you will lose that AA. So typically that's just what I like to do. Never send a B-Copper out into the field without a battle buddy, so to speak.
Battle buddy. I like that. Battle buddy. Yeah. So I don't do any city skipping here. I see your tank, so I decide to respond with my own tank. And I built a recon down here, but looking at it now, I really don't like this recon. For several reasons. I initially planned to move it up here, but there's nothing but plains and forests, and tires don't move very well on that kind of terrain. I saw you move your infantry down here, and my lab was kind of here, so I was hoping I would invest in a cheap unit to harass some of your infantry, but this unit doesn't go very far. I think I was trying to save some money too when I built this recon. I could have built a tank.
Yeah, I agree with you in that assessment. Partially because it would have helped to pressure that lower base better, but also because when I first saw that recon, I had the immediate thought that you would take that road down there instead. Happening where you are capping the airport. It just seemed like a natural idea for you to send that recon down there where it will zip along, just fine, and harass any of my infantry that are now coming up, but instead you send it up north,
which is worse.
Honestly, make a little bit of sense.
A little bit, yes.
Like you said, yeah, it doesn't really work in hindsight, but in terms of pressuring the lower base, it's okay in some aspect. But like you said, you should have gotten a regular tank instead.
I should have. We'll see next turn what I saved my money for. Also, yeah, sending the recon to the middle is definitely a better idea, but I don't know how I feel about sending a recon towards the 2 base side. It feels like I'm sending a weak side recon to your strong side if I ever move this to the east.
It's not exactly ideal. Typically, you want to send your recon somewhere where it will pay off for itself ultimately, and that I'm not really seeing where it will pay off. I mean, if you don't get it to pay off in stopping the enemy unit from making money for your opponent, you can make it pay off by at least pressuring your opponent to try and pay off a vehicle themselves to take care of it.
Yeah.
At the very least.
I've had that happen to me before. So we got a nice little go ahead.
Some people often make oh no problem, my apology. Yeah, some people often make a recon specifically to get the opponent to take a tank position away from the fighting. So that way the recon player can go ahead and get to work without that enemy tank getting in the way of what it is they want to do. Especially that recon with a bit of a free recon. That is, by buying it, they're not missing out on a tank or anything like that. But they can use that tank to make the opponent miss out on a tank by pulling the tank away from where it is that they don't want the tank to be in.
Yeah, I've had
this particular scenario, but yeah, that's how you will make a recon pay off about hitting any enemy foot soldier. As far as I can tell.
Okay.
So you're mostly making a recon pay off by either hitting enemy foot soldier and therefore making it pay off in terms of the money that you are rejecting the opponent, or you're making it pay off by kicking unit value away by kicking unit value away from the opponent in terms of displacing a tank from it. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next turn here.
Yeah, I have had that happen to me. DPS side did that to me actually. So I was gonna say this is technically a chain here, like 2 adjacent cities here. Not a lot of fighting is probably gonna happen down there. You got the chain up here, and like you said, you immediately built a battlecopter. Oh wait, you had to base skip for this. You did have to base skip for this copter. Interesting. Yep. But yeah, that early pressure is there. So I built a recon to save some money. I have 20k. Let's see what I buy this turn. So I can't capture this city because that'll be a free hit for you. This infantry is gonna get hit obviously because I have no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could have built a tank up there, but maybe last turn I should have built a tank. Yeah. More we learn. And this one also stops this one.
I could not help but notice that the infantry unit that you have capturing the comm tower have to get past 2 cities to get to that comm tower. Now, in hindsight, that's pretty okay. You already have some decent money going at the moment, and there's some enemy tank pouring into range. So in hindsight, that's pretty okay. So Neutral City are going to be yours eventually, because you have a base just nearby.
Yes.
So I can't do anything about kicking those or even keeping those at the moment, because I do not have firepower or the unit count to actually take those. So it's fine to go ahead and skip over those for the comm tower at the moment. But in general, I just wanted to point that out mostly.
Yeah, it did skip 2 cities to get that. It's the only property skipping I did, and here you will begin to see the lack of mobility that the recon has over plains. It can move well on over shoals, properties, bridges, roads, but not plains. It looks like I'm going for those cities, and this is a free hit assuming that you want to capture the city. And oh, actually now I have my tank here. So if you decided to attack my tank, I have something to retaliate. But you do have a tank back here, and I had 3,000 left. So last turn I actually could have bought I think last turn I could have actually bought a tank instead of the recon, and I would still have enough money. I just won't have 3,000 now, but replacing this with a tank, I would have been fine, if my math is correct.
yeah, just looking at where that recon is now, if that was a tank, I would have been forced to build a tank of my own from the server base, and even then, it would not have been able to actually hit your tank if you were to attack my infantry by your lab. So that would have been a pretty good bit of pressure there.
Yeah, it would have, especially since I'm planning to do like a pincer on your solo base here. Alright, so you can...
I was just double thinking about the stuff I said about the comm tower. I kind of flew off into silence there. I was just thinking about maybe whether or not I could say something better. Well, thank you. Let's see. Nah, I'm different now. We'll double back if we have to.
Yep. So yeah, you catch the city.
I don't really. Yeah, I apologize. I don't really do this kind of stuff regularly, so my brain not like wired to respond quickly enough.
I understand.
So it's kind of weird. Basically, I don't have to get used to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's okay.
I decided to. Anyway, I apologize. Yeah. I decided to get that tank into position. It's just to kind of get it into position to threaten some of your unit there. While also, but really, what the purpose of it is I was trying to get to the neutral city, just beside your airport down there, the one next to the mountain. I'm trying to get down there, and also the one at the bottom as well with my tank. So eventually, I can move up to it with my infantry unit that I have just finished capturing just now. The idea with that was, I could use my infantry unit to take those cities because the tank will be covering them just fine. As though, if the move goes my way, I could possibly see about threatening your airport and doing something to cut it off while I still could, and turning that area down there into a weak base in a sense.
Yep.
Which would make it easier on my store base to hold up against your other store base up there as well.
Yep.
But I could tell.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just one app. Like I said, I play mostly depending on how the board is shaken out, as opposed to deciding on day 1 that I'm going to be over here by day 10. I just prefer to play depending on how the board shakes out, and taking what the opponents give me and making the most of it. So that's the idea I had going with where I was putting those tanks and so forth.
Right.
Anyway, what else do I have?
You built an anti-air
Oh,
before
no.
I built a air unit.
I have the anti-air following up with those tanks because, of course, when I get so forward with those tank of mine, it's going to invite a B combo. Just because, well, you can probably get a free hit in on those tanks if I don't handle it well enough. So I have to follow up with an AA right away and go from there. Also because the B copper is probably going to be the best way to stop the tank from actually knocking anything off of the airport. Obviously you can't do that to begin with against an enemy B copper. Not from playing a road anyway. But anyway, I was just looking also at the I had that infantry unit in front of your artillery unit there. I kind of figured you might go with that one because we had the B copper and the tank next to your lab there. So you couldn't actually do anything about threatening that other infantry unit there. But obviously you couldn't send the artillery up there without any reasonable cover for it, especially since the B copper is well out of the range of your AA. So if you were to send your artillery unit there, it would have been free for my B copper. So instead you sent your arty down there to the bottom, which is probably the most reasonable option you can go, and now I'm out of position and you get a free hit on that infantry unit. So that's what I have to do with at the moment. I kinda have to settle for capping that city. It's money either way. But basically that's a very good move there. You made me take some damage. You made it where eventually you'll get that city. So pretty good.
Yeah.
It's about routine time.
Yeah, I kind of realized later in this game that you can't protect everything, and you'll see why here. So I have 27k. So I'm just capturing properties I can. I don't take advantage of the chain. I have this one going for this and this going for that. Immediate money. So when I saw this anti-air and I saw they had 27k, I was actually considering buying a bomber to target your anti-air.
Yeah, when you weave the AA on shores or plane right in range of a bomber, you are asking to lose the AA.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta have a second AA covering the first AA, because otherwise you're not gonna win that fight. The bomber will absolutely kick you out first, so that way it'll feast on the rest of the unit from there. You don't ever want to leave your AA vulnerable against a bomber like that. It's not a good idea.
Yeah. I thought the bomber idea was too ridiculous, so I just got a copter as soon as I could and just maybe have it go somewhere else. I didn't kill off your infantry because you have your own tank. But now I have my own tank here. I have the anti-air ready for your copter. Yeah, this turn could have been a bomber, but I thought it was too crazy, so I didn't buy it.
I understand. Now, in hindsight, yeah, I do agree with not attacking with the tank because, well, there are no tanks of your own in range. that could have followed up with the already attacking my tank and damaging it and giving me a loss there. So yeah, that was obviously a smarter decision. It made me fall back and focus on regrouping down there just to make sure I get ready down there. I was actually a little worried about not getting my comm tower in time, so I just wanted to make sure I covered that a fair bit and to kind of focus on setting up a defensive line down there. At the moment, it kind of focused on amassing stuff down there while I still could. I actually was just thinking at this point that I knew by now that I definitely wanted to do something in the lower left corner just to let off pressure on my own server base, but also just to try to maybe start the fight somewhere where I would like to fight. Because I was thinking by now that could possibly get that airport. It would make a very ideal place to fight. I could either win with the corner base, or I could go with the server base. Either way, fine, but at that point, it might be game. So I was thinking at the airport, it might be my win condition. So that's what I really wanted to go for. What's the best case scenario? And that's what I don't.
Makes sense. So, not quite airport locked yet. So yeah, just move units around, build another tank. And here we talked about the C-tile battlecopters, and here they are. Threaten this base, threaten this infantry. If I build an anti-air here, then you'll just go over here, because I don't have one over here. So yeah, it's just one copter, and I already might need to build 2 anti-air, like build one over here, just so you don't get free hits. And at the bottom here, you prevent me from starting to capture any of those cities, and you build your own artillery. What's the idea with this artillery, JJ?
That's right there. I have a believe my idea with that was to, let's see. I think I have some, let's see. Trying to remember what my reasoning was for that. It was a while ago. But I think my idea for that was to kind of help cover the airport a little bit, because that anti-air was a little dangerous. You know, it's obviously you want a tank instead, but I was thinking the artillery is have to stay over there to at least help cover the airport against any anti-air trying to get in. But also because that artillery unit, if it doesn't have to stay there, can either go down south with those units down there and help cover them against any tank, or you could go down to where you're rabid and help my server base against whatever you're trying to do down there. Is what I was thinking. So I already have several ideas as to what that artillery unit should be doing. I have like 3 ideas for that artillery unit. Basically, it could either cover my airport, it could go down and cover my capture down south, it could eventually reinforce my server base. Basically, I have multiple ideas for that artillery unit at the time.
Okay, yeah, I think that's good to have flexibility for an artillery. Also, because actually no wait. Oh yeah, I'm right. Because I damaged your infantry and had to repair 200, you cannot build tank infantry because that 200 is missing. You don't have 15k anymore. So that was also another reason why I wanted to shoot your infantry, even though you already captured the city, was to drain some of your funds and try to start limiting your buying options. But in hindsight, it might not be as strong considering its high funds. But if you did want to build a tank, then I have at least prevented that.
Yeah, tanks are probably on the same level at recon, assuming that the recon have the terrain they can use to excel. But just from what I noticed, tanks tend to be just about as good at recon, because they tend to be destroyed just about as quickly as recon. So typically they seem to be on the same level as recon. To use recon when you want to be quick and speedy about when there are plenty of roads that you use to capitalize on that speed. But tanks are also there for when you want to go overplane or whatever you want to just have some extra firepower. On top of that, the thrower, while we got them more faster, but generally they're on the same level, from what I noticed. And honestly, we got not too bad of a buy. It just needs a lot of clear terrain to run over, mostly.
So, yeah, now I can no longer harass your infantry because you have a tank nearby. Let's see what I do. I'm in position to capture either of these cities. Out of range of your copter. Go for the port here. Do I go for this hit? No, I do not. I'm just trying to stay on safe properties. I'm trying to stay safe on certain terrain here, and like I said, one copter forced 2 anti-airs from me already. So these tanks, if they would enjoy hitting this anti-air, your copter won't, but it has forced me to build something other than a tank on that side. And I decided to stand on my airport here, just so you don't airport lock me, but maybe I probably could have built another copter, because you won't be able to hit. Yeah, I'm not locked yet, so I probably could have gotten away with a copter. Maybe I wanted to buy other things. Let's see here. Yeah, my artillery is protecting the tank, just capturing the property. Let's see what I buy here, if it was warranted. Okay, no, I wanted to build another artillery. I felt like one artillery wasn't enough, so I decided to buy 2. Yeah, so that was my reasoning for not building a copter, is because I wanted to buy a second artillery and take advantage of my powers.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Yeah, artillery unit are good to do it in high fun. You want to make sure you have at least 1 or 2 in your formation, just because that's a great value for what you're getting out of them. You can get a Neo tank with them, you can get a medium tank with them. It's just very good value for what they are, but you have to make sure that they aren't easily deployed to begin with. And after that B copper of mine in the middle, honestly, that AA you built just made my B copper pay off in a sense. Because now I know that AA is over. Now I know that AA is right there. I'll just swing over either to the left or to the south. Especially then, now I got to cover my thrower bay down in flank versus your B copper. So I'll send my B copper down there instead in order to cover against your own B copper. And that's what I'll do with that. But also, when I saw that you send your infinite on top of your airport right there, that what made me really realize that maybe my plan of aggroing the airport might actually work out. But I was hoping maybe if I could just kind of get the right situation, I could swing in and really brawl the fight that way. Because if you look in the upper right corner, where we have all those neutral city and where I'm still about to capture my second airport, there's basically nothing up there. Yeah. And you have only one base, your thrower base, that you have that can also be sending units down south to help your airport. So I was thinking, if I attack your airport now and get a lot of pressure down there and really basically just use that and wait for the big battle start, it's set off several different things. One, it enabled my infantry unit to have a lot of peace and quiet up there in the corner, in the upper right corner, especially when my airport goes live and it start having some B copper backup. But also it's helped my thrower base kind of have a little bit more peace and quiet as well, because you're not going to pressure it from the south when your airport is on fire right now, you know? Yes. So you're not going to really worry too much about
I'm not. I committed. You can see my tanks. I committed them to like support my airport on the bottom. So you have a lot of peace and quiet up there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Alright, so...
Yeah, that was the Gebel idea, and on the turn here, go ahead and keep moving through the turn. Go ahead and keep going through the move.
Yeah, I saw that. You didn't take advantage of the chain. This one can actually pressure this one. So I think I do go for the city. But, yeah, let's see what you do here.
Yeah, it kind of gives you a choice of either going for a free cap. Well, not free. You'll probably lose that unit next turn when the B copper come out. But it gives you a choice of either a free cap or to reject a cap on my end. Kind of give you that choice. But either way, it means you won't get that money yourself. So kind of a plus for me either way. But to go back to my original point, you can see that on the next 2 moves, I'm about to move my tank off of the city while moving my AA into position and getting my infantry unit on top of my foot soldiers on top of the city. Those aren't going to keep going through the move here. There we go. I'm moving my foot soldiers into position here, but those aren't actually meant to be dual capture. At best, I'm hoping to use them as a fake out, so that way I can move onto your airport. A lot of players tend to look at a infantry unit capturing the city and think they can do whatever they want around that capture because the other guy wants to finish the capture. But that's exactly how you can ambush that player and get off a quick kill or get some positional gain that the other guy basically gave you free because he presumed he wanted the money.
Yeah.
And in this case, I made it where those units can now be in position to move in and get that airport. But that with the presumption that I would be able to get that. If at worst, you can reinforce that, you can anticipate that what I was about to do, and then immediately reinforce the airport with those nearby units, so with the B copper, with the both of those tanks, maybe another B copper of your own, but that'll be a little risky. But basically, at that point, you made it where the attack was sure to fail, and I had gone through with it. I would have backed off at that point, and I would have simply captured both of those cities at combination for what I was doing there. I didn't want to lose that. I did not want to get into position and not make any gain for it. So I would have taken those cities if I basically had no chance at getting the airport. Basically at that point. If things worked out, if the unit was going where I would want them to be, and the airport was there ready for me to attack, I was going to go for it and just ambush the infantry unit and cover the airport.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say earlier when I had my artillery in range of your capturing infantry, I was thinking that you probably would try to hit my artillery, but it would have denied you getting money that turn. And as you can see, I have artillery, other units. Probably would be harder for you to get the city, but yeah, here we see the decision making. Capturing the infantry here, you decide to stay. Now you have the city. These down here, you can get a tank to attack this, and then this infantry here can hit this, and you could still be capturing it here, and then your other vehicle would just sit on my airport.
That's exactly right. In fact, you can usually tell when they capture a fake capture when there's an infantry unit right behind it that could take over the capture for the first one, because at that point, why wouldn't you if you get button free by moving the first one off the city and hitting button with it? That's one way to spot a possible fake capture, not just knowing when something really good could come from delaying a capture and moving it off, but also just seeing when an infantry unit is right behind the second one that could immediately take over that capture for it. You'll only delay that capture a turn or so. So that's typically a way to understand when someone might just actually be faking that capture, when they're trying to just get into resistance at that point, basically.
Yeah. I have had games where I had a recon that attacked me in fog, and I actually stopped capturing properties just so I could trap the recon, because next turn I would have a tank in range.
Exactly. It's all about whether or not you had the money and the income is that the certain breaking point in the funding curve where it's very risky to do something like that. But generally, if you keep a close eye on your funding and you see the opportunity to kind of use those capital cover, go for it. But otherwise, that's the general idea. It's not just about the income, it's about wherever you're using the income for anything. If you have money building up in your account, that's nice, but typically you want to be using the money. You want to be able to put that money on the field ready to do something for you. Sure, you can kind of use that extra money to get a vehicle later, but that money could be on the field right now for you, basically. And some aspects, this particular idea could be in the sense of you're skipping a city, or you're skipping or you're otherwise delaying a capture. Just not because the money isn't important, but because the money of this moment not help you get anything important faster at that point. And so you can afford to delay that particular city and you do whatever else you need to do at that moment. That's true in the capture phase, but it's also true in the mid game where you're kind of trying to fake the capture, so to speak.
Yep.
As long as you have money to do what you want to do and to try to win the game, that's what's most important.
Yep.
Anyway, go ahead.
I built a medium tank. I don't hate that I built this medium tank. I hate that I feel like I built the medium tank on the wrong base. I think building it down here, although it has one less move, it's just much closer to stop any of this. And this medium tank, if it wants to go here, it has to go through a forest tile, and it has less movement, like I said. So, yeah, I kind of regret buying this medium tank here.
Yeah, it's not. Medium tanks aren't necessarily all that great and high fun. They're almost kind of like milk in a sense. They're very expensive, but very powerful where they are. Basically, medium tanks are much better for the offensive. If that +1 on top of the extra firepower makes every bit of difference. It really does. It's like a walking bomber in that sense. It's a blast hole through everything. And unlike medium tanks, which have less firepower to begin with, but also is often not that likely to be in position to use that firepower. Which make it, you might as well have 0% firepower. If you can't hit it, what's the point of the firepower?
Yep.
And that's generally the idea of the medium tank being defensive, because more often than not, as you can see, the airport is just about to get all night cover up. There we go.
It's locked.
And I was half considering tapping that city down there, but I figured that I wanted to make it really difficult to get in there and attack the area. So I moved the infantry unit down next to the tank. Go ahead and keep moving the turn down. There we go. Basically, I wanted to make it where the best you could do was to more arrest suicide your tank into my tank on the airport from a road of all places. So that's kind of what I wanted to make it very nice, very defensive spot, and just kind of invite the fight. Try to basically challenge you to come over here and do something about it. Try to really start that fight down there.
Yeah, medium tank. Looking at this now, medium tank definitely would have been nicer last turn because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't need to be on the airport. It can just hit whatever's on the airport here. But if I built a medium tank down here, would you have considered making this push? Yeah,
that medium tank would 1000% have been better down there. I would have been sweating a little bit if I had to actually deal with that thing down there. That's exactly what I was talking about in terms of defensive use. If that medium tank was down there, it would have done so much more damage. It might even have maybe saved. It may even have saved your airport.
Yeah, it would have.
Between the medium tank, the 3 tank, and that B copper, I don't think I actually would have gone for it if you built the medium tank that time.
Yeah.
That's the equipment maker right there.
I know medium tanks aren't that great offensively. I still wanted to use this as to like, hey, better get away from my airport. Maybe I think the idea was if you did push forward, this medium tank would eventually be behind you, and it would kind of be like a pincer strike. But that means I'm kind of committing my forces down here when I want to try to go for your solo airport. As you can see, I have double artillery trying to make that push. So yeah, this is exactly why I don't like mixed base that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
All right, so I stopped for a little bit because I'm wondering if you built anything special. No, you didn't. Tank, battlecopter artillery. Okay. It's not the turn that I thought it was. Alright, so let's see here. Anti-airs are moving over here. You're not airport locked, but definitely can't fly around the top side anymore. Trying to get the city. Even though you could be on a mountain to try to attack that, I have some forces around it. Why did I move this here? Yeah, this is not a good first engagement. You're on an airport. I'm on a road. I think it's what I built that made me do this. So I got a tank up here, got an infantry down here. Oh yeah, I think this turn I built something special. So I fall back, sadly. And I'm starting...
Yeah, that was exactly the kind of tank play I was hoping for down there. Yeah, they're looking you sorry, but that...
Yeah, the medium tank would have been much nicer down there. But yeah, I'm starting to wall up, trying to capture one of your cities. This could have not been yours if you attacked my artillery, probably. But I think you made the right decision to take the hit for this infantry, take the hit, and secure this city, which has been yours for several turns. And yeah, this is why I went for it, and this is why I had the infantry here, the Neo tank to cover these tanks.
Exactly right. Yep. And in fact, I was half considering suiciding my 9 help unit into your unit, capping my city there. But right now, you're in a situation where you have 2 bases coming down on me. Typically, you don't want the praise unit on your weak side pushing the strong side.
Yep.
Because obviously they'll have twice as many units as you, because that's what they want you to do. Obviously, I didn't do that to begin with. What I did that turn, go ahead and keep going through here. Oh, I did that turn when mostly
I built a Neo tank, battlecopter, infantry, 2 tanks. Alright, so now your turn, and ooh.
Oh yeah.
I did not consider this. I had my units 1 space away, exactly 1 space away from, like, yeah, 1 space away. Like, yeah, you guys can guess where this is going. So yeah, that's a hit, and now you have the power. Here comes the side slip. I remember when I saw it was my turn. I looked at my replay, and you had your power that turn. I was like, oh no, this is bad. This is bad. First strike. You're able to get that city. You're gonna be able to threaten my city. Oh no!
I was looking over the fourth state at the time, and I saw how many units of yours were just outside of my reach.
Just outside.
How to abandon it. And then I saw that my speed copper was right there in range of your AA, and I was thinking, little something. Sorry.
Oh no!
I'm about to do an evil.
It's like that one replay where Voice of Akasha was fighting Arya Fireheart on Lucifer. Have you seen that game?
I don't think I have. No.
Voice of Akasha had 2 copters in range of an anti-air on the enemy HQ. He he sacrificed like 2 or 3 of his copters, got a little bit of charge, got victory march, and won by the capture limit.
Ooh.
It was insane to watch. Now I know how Arya probably feels. You sacrifice 1 copter, you get the hit on this infantry, and everything is just 1 movement away. Oh my god, this right here, my air defenses are gone. I have no air defense down here anymore. Alright, copter gets to move. You're setting up a defensive position. Got the tank moving down here. You're doing the pincer strike on me, actually. Copter's moving down there. Ah, the sea tile. I can't hit it. The tank can move past the airport this time. You get the strike, and you actually block my Neo tank from hitting anything else. And do you get this? Yeah, you got that city. Why'd you go for the hit though?
I was initially going to hit the tank with my own tank from the city. I figured by positioning my unit like this, it would prevent you from doing anything to attack the unit tapping the airport right now. So I'd rather take that counter damage if it meant I'll get the airport at that point.
Yeah.
And that's for the I was just thinking that I was just thinking I did a pretty decent job getting all the artillery units in range down over there by the solar space. Yeah, I'm just thinking the movement power did a lot to help get that other one in position.
Yeah.
Obviously, you were moving in on me, and you had the firepower necessary to stop me. Now, obviously, your one airport has to keep sending units down south to help with doing something to stop your airport from burning right it is. So I was going to have bombs relief from enemy units, but there was still a lot of firepower knocking on my door. So that's why I eventually went for what everyone here would see as a mega tank on my solar base. And I just figured at that point you can't really do anything about that mega tank.
Yeah.
If you try to do anything about that mega tank, you're trying to make a bomber and send it over there, all you're doing is giving me relief down south to keep capping your airport.
Yeah.
And keeping it safe. Because right now, you need every unit to get down south to do something about saving your airport. So if I can do anything to wall off those units, it's all the better at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was afraid of this mega tank actually. When I got to this position, I'm just like, what can he do to stop me? Oh wait, he could probably build a mega tank. But will he be in a position to do that though? We'll see. And yeah, you do. Anyone who saw my Advanced Wars by Web introduction video, there's the mega tank that was in the video. Right here. And
Yep.
if you saw it, yeah, it's if you noticed, JJ is the yeah, JJ was who I fought. So now we're finally having this game right here, and he is absolutely crushing me right now. So he built the mega tank, and I'm just like, oh, my push is dead. So I do get your city, and now the income. Go ahead.
Honestly, if I was you, instead of going to the silver base with those units up north, I would actually have considered going further north to my own airport, just because there are fewer enemy units up there, but also because it might roll my silver base unit out of range.
Yeah,
out of that nippy little defensive stronghold I got there.
Yeah.
Is what I'm thinking.
I was actually considering shifting towards your airports, but I felt like it was probably too late. I really feel like I committed so much down here. It's just so much slower just to bring them back up there. But that's what front shifting is for. Exactly.
Yeah. I was thinking that because Jake's Super CL power was just about to come online, you could do a lot in really being in position we do something about that airport, and you're kind of raiding airport with me. I was half worried that if because of the mega tank being there and all the artillery units being there and that nice cozy defensive stronghold with the mountain and all, I was half worried that you might use Jake's super CEO power to relocate right on my own airport. Because to me, at that point in the game, it made the most sense. If I was you, I was about to lose my airport. I was about to lose out on some serious medicinal gains. So I was thinking, surely, if I get something going on the airport and get the same thing going over there, the map state would basically look the same on both sides, and I would still be in the game. So I was kind of half worried that you might just give up on my solar base and go for the airport instead, just to kind of even out the game. Not to win the game, but to even it out, basically. Yes. We would be basically trading airport at that point, and it would enter a whole new phase of the game at that point.
Yeah. I was considering the front shift, really was, but I think the pressure probably just got to me.
Yeah. And that's part of why I eventually you can go ahead and keep going through the move here, kind of keep me moving along. I was kind of worried about. Let me go ahead and focus on the actual turn here. Yeah, I kind of wanted to leave that unit in front of your Neo tank because I'd rather lose a unit that costs 1,000 as opposed to one that costs 7,000 for your Neo tank. So I eventually just went for that instead. But it gave me the opportunity to just park a weak unit, like a half health tank in front of it. You know, keep wasting the firepower, keep pinning it on weak thing that other things could kill for it instead. Kind of keep making it useless and that.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to.
It was basically an infantry wall, technically.
Exactly. In fact, that's why I eventually go ahead and keep moving along the turn here. Kind of why I eventually attacked that tank of yours on the Red City with my own tank, because the kind of damage was not going to matter to me at that point, but that Neo tank was going to kill it in one hit no matter what anyway. So I attacked with that one first in order to preserve the other tank and keep its health up, mostly. What I was thinking. And for this here, I decided to go for putting my B-Copper on your medium tank and kind of get it pinned, get it down to half health so it won't do any more damage there. And also because I have my own artillery unit there, so I can just kind of park it there and do something with it.
You're doing sacks again. Oh no. You're sacking units. It's happened again. Yeah. So, a 5-move mega tank.
That's exactly right.
Oh no.
That was actually the reason why I went on the attack with my solar base unit. Because again, I was worried you might try to relocate for my airport. So I went on the attack there in order to keep you focused here. This is where if I had to fight with a weak base, it was going to be here, all nice and cozy. My mega and my artillery unit and my nearby base. It was the best I can do at that point, because your airport down there is going to be focused down south. Because if it doesn't, you were going to lose that other base as well. So I was thinking, as long as I keep you bend over here on my weak base, my other airport will be okay, and I can keep going on from there.
I also decided to stick around, and yeah, it's now or never with this power.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you built the B-Copter up there. I lost my anti-air up there. So you have a wall of tanks. My Neo tank is basically trapped. And here's the turn from the video. If you guys want to see what happened when he sent that 5-move mega tank, hits my artillery, infantry moving up, and yeah, you don't kill it, but you have your own artillery. Well, and you got a Neo tank up there, and this Neo tank can actually leave its base.
That's correct.
Yeah, Recon is probably dead. And
yeah, I was pretty much daring you to come into that artillery blind spot and just hit me where I was like, fight me here, bro. Hit me. I want you to hit me. Come on.
And now you're capturing my city. Now you killed my infantry. Day 10. So I decided to pop my block rock. Let's see what I do with this. I capture the city. Medium tank. Not attacking from a plane, unfortunately. That one was a plane hit and killed the 9 HP, capturing that city. Copter kills, infantry hits. My tank is still there anyways. I loop around. I'm not even attacking from a road. Tank kill, copter kill. And I just send this here, even though it's in our anti-air range. And yeah, I only deal 2 damage with... I only deal like 2 damage with 1 artillery. On planes, of course. You do have 10% bonus though. 1 damage with that, and yeah, you guys can tell what's about to happen. Built my bomber, built my own mega tank, infantry. Just move everyone just because. Oh, I crashed. Crap! No. Oh.
Yeah, we're just about finished up here. I believe.
Yeah. Just gonna move all this over here. Yeah, you guys already know what's about to happen. Infantry, I just move everything I can, and I resigned.
Right.
Yep.
Now,
pull up the stats right here. We have the stats right here. Yeah, I had more kills and values, but I did have more deaths in terms of numbers. And as for we were even on income. I was only ahead by army value because I built the bomber and the mega tank down there. But yeah, I basically like kind of played into your hands, and also you were also very flexible with. Oh, my stream is off. I just realized.
Yeah.
You were also very flexible with your moves. Like you said, that one turn you had an artillery like somewhere on the top right. It was like had 3 different things it could have done depending on the board state. Yeah, you played very flexible, and you also ambushed me a lot with your unit sacrifices to hit all of my units that were just 1 space away from you. But you're adder, of course, so 1 space away doesn't even matter. Yeah, you played very well, but I am at least glad to have a match with you, even in this manner.
Thank you. Yeah, I was very pleased to see that we got matched up in the first round. It was gonna be fun either way.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I thought this map very enjoyable.
Yeah.
I honestly like this map. I kind of have to half wonder.
I like it
whether or not
too.
This map might be. Oh, half considering maybe proposing this map with Reeb at some point. It's a very nice map, but I don't know. Anyway, I was going to bring up. I feel like maybe there's a possibility of playing on here regardless, because while you did lose your airport, I was kind of playing with fire with my store base down there. So, well, you didn't have any heavy unit down there, but if you blew up your air unit down there and you kind of gave up on your airport in the meantime, I mean, I would not going to actually crack your store base down there next to my airport if you were to put out a few mega. I wasn't going to get get going down there anytime soon. So I was thinking if you were to blow up everything on your, if you were to blow up all your air unit and kind of compose on everything I got on that store base, you can make some gain and trade that airport of yours for a base of your own and kind of go on from there. It would not have been game over. It would not have been, I think, it would have been difficult, I think. It would have been a bit of an uphill battle because you might still eventually lose that base down there where your mega is. But I think I played that one particular aspect. I think the resign is definitely necessary at the moment. Just because it would have been a very uphill battle. You would have lost that base down there eventually. And it's
Yeah.
more than possible that I may have just... I probably would have just kept pumping out Mega from that lower base of mine. So, yeah,
Yes.
oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to say it. Yeah, game over. It's game over.
Yes, game over. GG. There's no saving this. I'm glad to have had this replay with you because it's nice. Because at the moment, I tend to not understand what I could have done better. But now it's been like so long, I've kind of become a little bit better. Looking at this replay with you, yeah, I definitely could have done a few things. Like I probably could have gotten an extra copter when I wasn't officially base locked. I definitely could have built my medium tank down here instead of up here where it's much closer to where you're pushing. I did want to use it defensively. I know they're very good defensively rather than offensively, but this was just the wrong base. I was thinking like I could maybe have this tank flank. No, it was actually this medium tank. Have this tank like come flank you guys and like attack you from the back. But here, this actually would have like pushed you away, and I would have kept my airport. And here, I definitely could have. Well, like not this turn, but a couple turns ago, I definitely could have front shifted and start doing the same thing up here that you did to me. But I didn't do that. I stuck around and. You know, it's one of those things where they say F around and find out. And I definitely found out the hard way. I found out the hard way. I just got like one victory.
Yeah,
This was like my battle cry. It was just like, if I'm going down, I'm going to take out as many as I can before I resign. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and
Well, I was just wondering if you have built a tank instead of that first medium tank on the middle base, you could have still used that tank for the same purpose as the medium tank. You should have sent it up, up north, and kind of use that to help support your initial push with your main board.
I
Just
see.
because, well, obviously you have to pay attention to that tank of mine, and it could also harass me from capturing my second airport, which would have been really bad.
Yeah.
And it would have thrown me off just enough to where you can do some serious pressure on that airport, on that other airport of mine, in the same spot where I pressure your own airport, and you could have done the same thing to me.
Yeah, I could have
While
mirrored
having a
you.
medium tank. Exactly. Yeah, you could have a medium tank down south to cover your airport, and a regular tank to help your own put my own airport, and well, that's the ball game. Could have been very different from there.
Oh yeah, definitely could have been different.
Anyway,
But yeah, that's why we review these games. We look at them, we're like, okay, we could do this and that differently, and definitely use what we've learned for the near future. I did want to get at least like one win in the tournament, because my other one it was 11, I think, Discord 11 with the end of entropy, that mix base in round one. Yeah, that one taught me. I got my units trapped a lot, and that's why I felt like made me loss. But yeah, I did at least want to win one game, and at least in the Smacky Cup, I did win round one.
honestly, yeah, winning one round in a tournament is a bit of accomplishment in and out of itself, in my opinion. A lot of people, among people, might say otherwise, but winning just one round in a high-stake competitive format is, to me, a major win in itself.
Yeah.
And it only feels better when you get one more after that, and
It
so on.
does,
So,
yeah.
so
Yeah, because you're basically
exactly.
positive if you have 2 wins and 1 loss. I used to play in Smash tournaments, and I always lost in the first round. But getting like any first round win in any competitive game just feels really nice.
I'm mostly just finishing up here at the moment. Is there any last words that we might need to say before we end up here?
Well, any last words? I'm I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really think I would make it far, but I'm glad to have this game because I wanted some experience. See what I could take from this game, and see what I can take from it, learn for my future games. And I think we did just exactly that. And I'm also glad to finally have you on my channel, JJ. We have been talking a lot in DMs, and JJ's a really cool person.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. I'm personally honored to be on your channel. If that's way on your up screen, and I'm very happy to be on here. It's a bit of a first time on my part to be on a being feature in the video with my
Yeah,
actual voice. But yeah, I personally enjoyed it. It's a mistake we made in there, but I personally enjoyed it.
yeah,
Thank
we
you for having me on here, and I personally am going to look forward to our next match, either in Stanwood or Typhoon or maybe even Fog. I'm personally looking forward to that just to see how much better you gotten since then. You were already doing a great job here. Even with some of the mistakes we were talking about here and there, you still did a pretty decent job.
yeah.
So just, I'm personally excited just to see what next time looks like.
Yeah, you also yeah, you also said that you're also kind of betting on me on Sorry, my sister. You also said that you were like kind of like cheering me on in my division for the Smacky Cup.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Yeah, that's a
But this one,
Division 2A, I think. It's it was a nice little confidence booster that you gave me, so I appreciate that message. You're a great person to talk to. Yeah, before this we were struggling to find time to record, but thankfully we were able to get this out here. Despite the technical difficulties that we had, we made this video work.
yeah, I found that, yeah, cool.
All right, guys and gals. I don't know if JJ has a YouTube channel, but you can definitely find them on the Advanced Wars Wide Web Discord. They're a moderator. They also organize many of the tournaments here. So if you don't like mixed base in round one, you could yell at him. Don't yell at him, but yeah. All right, but yeah, that'll do it for this video. JJ Empire. Yeah, he's done a lot for this community, for all these tournaments that we're all joining here. Definitely give him all the support that you need, because it's probably working really hard to get all this going, get all this working. But yeah, we'll cut it here. Guys and gals, I'm Advanced Warrior. This was JJ, and you all have our warmest regards. My sister's being annoying in the background. Please take care. Bye-bye.
So, yeah.